Hi everyone, let's paint together this beautiful 20 centimeters mandala FirstFlowers. I decided to create something new, so let's paint on a light base today. If you wanna see more such kind of content, press like button and subscribe. So let's start it. Base covered already. I'm using this paint, all materials in description box below this video, and if you can find exactly the same, look for light ivory in other brands. And obviously on this page we are painting these nice colors, greenish, a little bit yellow. Finding the center mandala, I'm linking video if you need instruction how to do this yourself. And after that, I'm creating marks. I'm using regular pencil because you can't see white on this base. And what I'm doing marks every 1 centimeter like that for our circles. And I'm making lines every 20 degrees. Obviously use tools what you prefer. I've got this one. So after 20 degree, I'm making lines. So it's pretty often, but not too much. So this will help us create really nice small strokes. This time, this is a beginner friendly, so you can do this step by step with me. And obviously, as I said, every 1 centimeter cycles. Like that. And when everything ready, we can start. So I will use yellow 3D drops. Again, materials in description. But you obviously can do this the same only just with yellow color. What I'm also doing, additional marks. I'm starting with the last line and starting my circles with the second line, so cross between lines and circles. So again, one more time, I'm starting with first cross from the bottom, leaving behind one line obviously. So starting with first one and connecting second cross between circle and line, and I'm doing this every second line. As I said, I will use 3D drops, but you obviously can use just yellow paint if you can't find yellow drops, or use kind of a light one but not white. Still will work really nice. So we are moving forward, and first circles I will do with our sea glass color. I'm doing this every second spot between lines, and you see I'm doing this kind of in the middle between center or central drop and first circle. Every second spot between lines. Like that, small dots. I don't want to do this pretty often. I want to give space for this light color between. And I'm just adding a little bit more paint on the top when all dots ready. Moving forward with our Amaze-Mint. So as you see, I'm placing this on the first circle and between our previous row of dots. And with needle, really thin tool you need, I'm making small tails between, so I'm using the space between our previous dots for these tails. Be careful. If you are not sure yet in your move, just wait until previous dots are dried out, and after that you can do the same. And I'm adding a little bit more paint on the top so our dots will be more visible once they dry out. This is one of the tricks how we can make our dots pop out. I will use really small brushes as you see, and you need a long one to make long strokes and small one like that to make short strokes like that. So I'm using Sea Breeze color and I'm using space between circles as you see over there. So I'm starting literally a little bit on the top, trying not to connect our strokes on top of our previous dots and kind of making these strokes around our dots. But also, as you see, I'm leaving some space. I'm not making this too close, giving kind of an air. And again, as I said, if you're scared to move with strokes, just wait until dots dried out, and after that you can do this. Like that. Moving forward. So next step, let's do yellow dots. Let's add our primary yellow color. As you see, I'm pressing like on the top of these strokes, just we just made, on the next line, and you see every second spot again. We are not making this too often, just giving space, playing with colors. It's so beautiful, like that, really nice. The next one, I will use again our Sea Breeze color, next line, next circle line, and again between our yellow dots, as you see, every second spot. And with needle or thin tool, you again moving paint down towards the center and making the same pattern, the kind of a small tails. Don't rush, take your time, and don't forget that we are painting because we are enjoying the process. So don't forget to do this. We all are liking to get final results, but don't forget about the process because it could be enjoyable. Like that, and towards the center. As you see, I'm adding a little bit more paint at the end to make again our dots more pop out from the surface. Again, small brush, thin brush, and again I'm starting on this spot between lines, circle lines, and with our sea glass color I'm making small strokes around. Don't rush, careful, move your brush, just wait until central dots are dried out if you worry about that, and just take your time and enjoy the process like that. So we are pressing brush down and releasing at the end. Pressing down, releasing, pressing, releasing, pressing, releasing, pressing, releasing, like that. And after that, I will use our Amaze-Mint color, making it a little bit brighter. I'm not doing at the same level, a little bit lower, and just the same way, walking around. These strokes really close to each other, at the end even on the top of each other, so don't worry about that. I'm just wanna add a little bit another tones, like that. And again, we are not pressing too much at the end, we are releasing brush, like that. Really beautiful. I like this color combination, especially at the end of the winter when I'm making this exactly what we need. Next, I will use our green. And this is sour apple color. As you see, I'm starting lower and the same way, making my way down and end of the strokes going in it on the top of each other like that. Really nice and beautiful. And you see how this changing our picture, this sour apple bright green, like really refreshing this, and with yellow, just amazing. Moving forward, I want to with the same color add small strokes, really small ones, as you see in the video, on the base of these first strokes we did. This will be almost not visible at the end, but will definitely work with our perception color combination. So our center of mandala will be playing the same way as all mandala all together. So on this we are leaving behind one line, and on the second one, as you see, I'm doing 3D drops. And now we're looking at our marks that we did additionally. So as you see, I'm doing this between, like that, between this oval half of a circle lines. So we will add something at the end. I want to look in a total on the picture, how this will work all together and what color to use. And now I'm making this again with a needle, 3D, literally tails in the space when our these additional circles connected, like that. And I will play now around this base. Again, wait until it's dry out if you worry to mess up. And after that, again, with a small brush and our Amaze-Mint color, starting from this circle line, I'm just working my way around with thin strokes like that. And it's the end of the stroke going on this spot between our additional circles we made, like that, like that. Careful. As I said, if you worry that you can mess up something, just wait until these 3D drops dry out, and after that you can move forward with the strokes, like that, really thin, and this will add additional tone and with our color combination, our palettes that we are using for this mandala, like that. Really nice. Moving forward, I want to come back to our sea glass color. It's a little bit green with a little bit gray in it. I'm starting over there, as you see, from circle line and going towards this circle line. I'm just playing around. I'm not trying to be on the top of strokes, just playing around. As I said, I want to add a little bit more space between strokes, this particular mandala, and just moving around like that, one by one, starting from the circle and going around. And these additional marks, they're helping us to look where to start our strokes with this pattern, like that. Really beautiful. Let's move forward. I'm going down with our sea breeze, and as you see, I'm starting from this additional circle line. We will use it like our base for our flower, like that. And this is one of the tricks how we can paint, especially with big mandalas. These additional marks can help us and be our base to create unusual petals, unusual flowers, and moving forward with the same idea. And I will use again our Amaze-Mint color. And as you see, I'm starting from again these additional marks, and I'm leaving space between strokes. Because I'm using really thin brush, these strokes are small, but kind of working together really well because of the light base of this mandala. Really, really nice. I liked to paint this, and even now I'm making this video, I'm enjoying this one more time, to be honest. And the next step, let's do with our sour apple. So I'm playing with the space between flowers, as you see. Again, I'm starting our strokes from baseline and going around like that. And I like how easy now with these additional marks to create this nice and unusual shape of flowers. This is one of really interesting tricks we can use. Like that, look at how beautiful it is. And now we can, I'm still leaving this space to work after. And now we are playing with the space between with this big space to create bigger flowers. So I'm using our primary yellow color. As you see, I'm using the same tricks. I'm starting with this cross line, the first one in the base of this flower. I'm making dot, and with thin tool or with needle, even you can make in these nice tails going almost like between these green strokes, like that. And nice that now you don't need to look at the base, you still can work with the same marks that we just did, these additional circles. And after that, the same trick, small brush. I will start strokes on the same level as these yellow dots and our clear glass, like that. One by one, step by step. And don't worry if it's not ideal, you will learn, and at the end result, these small, not ideal strokes will be not visible. So just don't worry about that, enjoy the process. And the next one, I'm using our Amaze-Mint. I'm starting, as you see, on the same level this time, the strokes. And again, I'm not doing this too close to each other. I'm just giving some space between, playing with this space, and I'm releasing brush at the end to make this separate from our greenish strokes below. And the next one, our sea breeze color. Again, the same way, I'm starting almost on the same level and just playing around, leaving some space between strokes. Really nice. Interesting way we are working with the space this time. Again, with just simple trick. So we'll use sour apple color and the same way I'm doing a dot on this cross between line and circle, and the same way I'm making small tails towards the edge of mandala, like that. and creating base on the top to make our another level of flowers. Simple trick, not too much to worry about. Just let yourself. I know it's a little bit scary to start with strokes, but you can do this only by practicing those. So no other advice, just practice. And one more trick, you can paint this on a base, just on a paper. You don't need to even separate mandala, just for training yourself. Again, small brush, a little bit longer this time. And our primary yellow, I'm doing small strokes around this green one. You can see this on the video. Like that. I'm starting a little bit up to make this a little bit round, but again, I'm leaving some space. I don't want to connect these two, the same yellow color, too close. And I'm giving like a little bit space so this light base separate this yellow stroke and dot. Like that. Like that. And the next one, I'm using my Sea Breeze color and making strokes starting from the top. I'm not trying to connect, obviously, these two separate flowers. Lighten up, so pressing, releasing brush. Pressing, releasing, pressing, releasing. And walking our way around this edge of mandala already. If you notice, we're already almost there. Like that. Pressing, releasing. Pressing, releasing. I'm not making this too close. I'm giving some space between. The next one, I will use the same brush and our Amaze-Mint. I'm starting a little bit lower this time. Like that. And as always, in this particular mandala, I'm giving some space between strokes. I see this like if you saw somewhere on the snow FirstFlowers. It's not too many of them, but on a white base they're so visible in a forest or in a garden. So I want to kind of create something like that. And next one, our sea glass. Again, starting a little bit lower and walking around. Like that. We're almost there. Let's add a little bit yellow around these flowers, but also I want to add yellow on the base of over there, on the base of these up flowers, like that. Again, if you worry, just wait until everything dry out, and after that you can do your yellow strokes. And as you see, again, I'm using these additional marks that we created, and I'm using the space that left between flowers. All marks will be removed when everything dry out, so now we can just use it like in our marks to make our nice strokes around, like that. And you can see how this change in palette now with this yellow. And now I want to, as I show you already, small strokes around, also yellowish. I'm just making this like oval shape. You definitely can make it a little bit smaller around. I want to play a little bit with the space that left on the top, but you can definitely create some kind of another shape like that. And let's add a little bit bright yellow star apple around the same brush. I'm just pressing a little bit down and releasing brush and like that. And we got some space between. I want to add a couple of more strokes. So Amaze-Mint will help me with this. And as you see, I'm just making the same brush, the same type of strokes, just playing with space around. And again, leaving some space between the strokes so this can help us like that. And still some space, so let's add, I'm choosing add a sour apple, but you can definitely play and add another tone, what you prefer. I just like this green, so juicy green color, like that. And last one, really beautiful. With this small brush, I want to add a little bit yellow more in the center. Be careful because paint is still fresh. What I'm doing small strokes and playing with this space like that. Just two small ones between, like that. Pressing, releasing brush. And as you see how this is definitely helping us, because it was too big, like light space at the center of mandala, and this way we can kind of playing with this. From one point of view, we are removing this white, not white by ivory, pretty light color, but at the same time we are adding yellow color, also helping us like that and like that. Really beautiful. And again, use your inspirations, a lot of spaces where you can add something else. I just don't wanna, I wanna really left between space, this light one. I'm adding just small details with our just regular dots like that with Amaze-Mint. I'm adding just small details on the top of this sour apple strokes like that. And this obviously amazing way how it works. Look how this changes small detail, how this changes the center mandala like a magic. Look how beautiful it is. Again, play with the space, add some more details. Anyway, enjoy your painting, subscribe, please press like button, and see you next video. Bye.